I'm Roxie with Roxie's Broadway Breakdown. Welcome back to my channel. And I want to talk about my very exciting project with Mr. Stephen Schwartz himself. Yes, Broadway legend, Mr. Stephen Schwartz himself. This was a once-in-a-lifetime dream for me come true. I will never have this kind of opportunity again to work with such a Broadway legend. So let me tell you what this was all about. Stephen Schwartz, who is of Pippin, Godspell, Wicked fame, Oscar-winning, Tony Award-winning, Grammy Award-winning for numerous works, wrote an opera, Seance on a Wet Afternoon, based on a novel and a 1960s movie, which you can watch on HBO Max. And he was commissioned by the San Diego Opera to write this work. And it played in San Diego, and then a New York opera picked it up, and it was never produced again. So this small opera company that I sometimes choreograph for down here in Texas came upon this opera. And it's actually more of a light opera. I wouldn't say it's like Puccini. It falls somewhere in between a Wicked and an opera. And it's more of a, I guess, like a Sweeney Todd kind of feel. It's very, very dark. And this opera company came upon it, the director, and said, this is a great piece of work, and it is. The score is gorgeous. And said, you know, this would be great. We'd really like to do it. So through a series of events, the director got a hold of Stephen Schwartz himself and said, we'd love to do your opera. And he was flattered. He was like, oh, that's great. I'd love for you to do it. And she said, well, we're a very small opera company, and I know it's for a 40-piece orchestra, and we only have 6. And he was like, well, I don't really have the time to reorchestrate this because I have a movie coming out, Wicked. This is a few months ago. And she said, no, my musical director, who's really great, very talented, you know, can sort of get this process going. If you wouldn't mind kind of going back and forth, helping him, not helping him, but like, you know, coordinating with him and collaborating with him on some of the orchestrations. And he was like, yeah, just send me ideas and, you know, I can look at this. So they did that. And after a while, he said, you know, I would really love to come see this. And she was like, really? And he said, yeah, I'd love to come see this. When's it happening? And she said, we're doing it in July. And he said, you know, I think I have some time off in July. I would love to come for like the week of Tech Week and, you know, maybe share ideas and look at it and kind of tweak some things. And, you know, just if I can, it's like, are you kidding me? This is your piece of work. You can do whatever you want. So we were ecstatic. We were like, oh my gosh, Stephen Schwartz is coming to work with us, like on his piece of work, on this opera. We were beyond, as you can imagine. So it's about this psychic who lost her son at birth, and she believes she sort of channels the spirit of her child, and he sort of tells her things, she communicates with him, and she concocts this plan with her husband to kidnap this child of a rich couple, and in doing so, she believes she will feed clues to the parents and the police of where to find the child, where to find the ransom money, and they'll believe she's such a talented psychic that led them to the child that she'll become renowned, she'll get great press coverage, and everybody will be like, oh, wow, you know, Myra Foster is a really talented psychic, and she'll become famous. The plan goes awry, and things transpire as they transpire. The movie has a different ending than the opera. Both are dark, and he said people didn't like the ending. And so the audience wasn't left with a good feeling in San Diego. They still didn't like it in New York because it is so dark. And so when he came to see our production, the first rehearsal, and let me tell you, when he walked in to that first rehearsal, I was really gobsmacked. I was just like, I can't even believe that I'm seeing Mr. Schwartz walk into rehearsal. I can't believe he's about to sit down and watch this. I sort of just sat in the back and really watched him watching our show, take notes. I was very leery. I was like, what if he hates it? What if he, like, I honestly didn't know what to think. And of course things went, not according to plan. And, it's a tech rehearsal. It's our first tech rehearsal. And so he watched it, and he was the loveliest, most generous, kindest, warmest man, and he loved it. He was like, oh, I didn't know really what to expect. He goes, this show is great. I mean, for where it is at this point, he goes, it's farther along than I thought. He goes, I really didn't know what to expect. He goes, but the amount of talent and what you guys have done. And he said, and I love what you have done with the ending. He goes, I think you finally solved the problem to my opera. Like, you're 90% there. And we were like, oh my gosh, like, we have helped Stephen Schwartz with his piece of work. So we started discussing ideas, and I have to say, as a musical theater kid, I never thought I would even be in the same room with this man, much less like watch and observe him and listen to him and get to meet him, and much less like start discussing his work and like give and take and collaborate with him. So I was really on cloud nine. I just, when we started discussing things and saying, well, we could do this, or he was saying maybe we could do this, and just sharing ideas was beyond my wildest dreams, I have to say. So we started talking, and the next day at rehearsal, he's brilliant. He really is a genius, the way he sees things, and he moves very quickly. He's got a very quick mind, and we started sharing notes and ideas, and, I know I'm kind of speechless in this, because that's how I felt the entire rehearsal time. It was just like, I can't believe I'm adding a note, and I'm taking notes, and yes, absolutely, what do you see here? And if I may add this. And he was like, fabulous. Yes, I love that. So it was just a thrilling ride. It really was. And it turned out, the project really turned out wonderful. He was so pleased with it. And, after the show opening night, he was like, Roxie, congratulations. And, we hugged and we talked about it. And he was like, honestly, he said, I think this is the version now I want to show to people, our new show. And I was like, oh, the ending we came up with, he said, yeah, I mean, I think this is the production here on out, the new kind of tweaks and things he added to the score based off our ending. And I said, well, I'm thrilled for you. Like, if this works now, I hope this is the new opera you can sell to other opera companies. And he said, me too. I mean, I'd love for this opera to be able to be sold to other opera companies. So I hope it works for him. I hope, because it's such a beautiful opera that other companies can pick it up and see this work. It deserves to be seen. It deserves to be seen. There's really not much on it on YouTube. I mean, if you want to, try to Google it, or, see things on YouTube, it's very sparse, but you can Google Stephen Schwartz Seance on a wet afternoon and maybe see a few clips of it here and there just to see what it's about. But I had some few moments during rehearsal to speak to him about his upcoming Queen of Versailles that's opening this fall on Broadway with Kristen Chenoweth. Of course, I got to, you know, congratulate him about Wicked and his success with that. There was a cast party. I got to kind of talk to him, and another party we had with donors and sponsors, and he sang Corner of the Sky and For Good, which was just amazing. He made me cry, and I told him, and he was like, that's always the goal. He was kidding. He really had such a lovely sense of humor, a lovely demeanor. It was just, I can't express enough how wonderful it was to work with somebody like that. And like I say, it was a lifetime, once in a lifetime experience, and I will treasure it always. It was so meaningful to me. I can't express that enough. And he is truly a lovely, lovely man. So there you go. That was my project, my experience with Stephen Schwartz, and so much fun. I just had to share with you that, and if you're a faithful follower to my channel, you might have noticed the last 6 weeks I hadn't been putting out as many videos. It's because I've been so busy with this project that I just hadn't had time to, you know, put out much material lately, but I will be getting back into the swing of things now that this project is over. So thank you for subscribing. Please subscribe, give a thumbs up if you like this video, and I'll see you in my next.